bringing us into our verdict. Josh.
What do you got, Jay? No, I went first.
It's funny. I actually left my verdict blank, and I was just like, man, what do I think? What do I even think about this game? Because it was from an adult with a family and a life standpoint, it was very smooth. You know, it did not cause undue stress to my life, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. As far as Sir Jerome Carl, Able Gamers episodes go, this was definitely not a fucking, what was that called? What's the tower? Deadly Towers.
Yeah,
It's definitely not Deadly Towers. Definitely not a fucking 5-hour escapade episode to fucking just talk about, let alone endure.
Right. So I appreciate that, and thank you, Jerome. Yeah, no, it was like for a 1980s, mid to late 80s platforming game. I like the jumping was good. Like I said, it was floaty. I appreciate that. I actually liked the fact that it was more, the attacks were more button spammy, like how fast can you get your
running gunny?
Yeah, how fast can you get your DPS up? How quickly can you take this boss out, kind of thing. And so, because so many of the later games are not like that, because that's not fun for a lot of people, you know, clearly, right? But I actually appreciated that here in this case. And so it's such a weird game, such an odd story, and you know, a lore with it. I don't know, like it's not a bad game, but it's not a great game.
That's exactly what my first sentence is. This is not a bad game. Which anyone who's ever said in the history of anything, when you say something's not bad, that means you don't think it's good either.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. None of the enemies are memorable. The bosses are not. Like, if I'm being really objective, none of the enemies are memorable. The bosses are absolutely not memorable. The final boss, like I said, that I feel like that was the only thing that that took some actual work and time into it, because it completely switches up and changes the paradigm. If you're like me and you're just blazing through it, it makes you stop and actually learn the mechanics, learn to fight and move around. And so I appreciated that, because before that it was kind of just like, why would I come back to this game again? It's not a game that I want to pick up and play again. Like, there's no replayability there,
right.
Except that we just both said like, oh, maybe I'll go back through, but it would be like one time just to get your achievement, or you know, to
enjoy the thing
use,
you didn't understand,
use the bombs that you didn't know.
Do it.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, again, my criteria though, did I have fun? I had fun from time to time. Would I recommend it to someone else? No, I would not recommend it. It's an early platformer. It gets points for the jumping, but like, there's way cooler, better things, more stories, all that. Would I consider playing it again for fun via remastered? Probably not. So I gotta go 2 out of 3.
It would be tough to drag more out of it for sure. Like you know, to warrant even making one, let alone playing one.
Like, I'm interested to see where else, and like kind of looking at some of these other properties just to see where else Karnov shows up. But nah, I think it's a no. It's a no for me, dog.
Totally fair. Yeah, like I said, it's not a bad game. Probably not a good one either. I'd always thought it was a bad game. Yeah, like I kind of already mentioned. So in that regard, I was maybe impressed, you know, because there were some, once you got grooving, there were some merits. There were some, like you said, enjoyable moments, yada, 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 yada. But yeah, I don't think King Lorik can in good conscience go bestowing the blessing onto such a game as this, no matter how far back you push the expectations, you know, for an 88 release date. I just don't
like for 83 or 82. Okay. But by 88,
yeah. Right, yeah. Yeah, if you rented this game for a weekend, you wouldn't have to jump off the fucking roof or anything. But you're happy as fuck to watch Mom take it back on Sunday.
Like, all right, what else is here? Here you go.
Yeah, Mom. Next, please. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you know, as far as specifics go, the character, like you said, bit unique, interesting. There was, by video game fucking protagonist standards in 1988, a little bit of effort there. A little bit of, it's not just some other dude with a fucking army bandana on his head and a bandolier across his bare
Saving
chest.
A chick.
There's like,
yeah.
Right, exactly right. There's a little bit of something, a little bit of juice there, I suppose. The controls, yes, mostly fine. A few dumb things, but nothing like totally cardinal sin-y. Levels, I mean, for a pre-MMC3 chip phase, I think the levels, some of those backgrounds, like I said, the desert, that sky one, also, you know, pretty fucking interesting and good, I think. And as much as I didn't like the system that the options were in, the inventory options in total, as far as just the macro of like the variability they presented to the gameplay experience, not bad. Pretty fun. But yeah, very limited soundtrack, retread bosses, both in just the fact that they were there, and also, like you said, kind of just even from the supposedly different bosses to different boss, it's still kind of the same thing you're doing. It's just like not enough of a varied differentiation between them. So that, and yeah, I mean, the fucking inventory thing was a joke. It's all just kind of comes together as a sub blessing tier.
Like, here's a game.
Experience.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the best way to say it. Is just another game on the early NES that isn't, it's not in fucking Dr. Chaos, Super Pitfall, Total Disaster territory, but it easily, which is why it has, for 40 years of my life, been lost in the catalog. It's just not something that ever got me there in substantiation to really find the good parts that make it worth doing so. It's just, there's just not enough there on the surface, and then once you're in it, also still just not quite there. So
King Lorik, in his wisdom, says, disciples, please steer clear of this one.
Yes. No, a double no on that one. But we still thank you, Jerome, for forcing us to come to a educated position on that, as opposed to just the title, our total whatever guessing that we might have been doing to date with it.